YouTube Nation, Manfit TV, aka me TV, aka Under Pressure. You know what? The frustration is starting to get to me. It's only week 5, all right? And already, you stupid fucking Eagles fans, all you do is make excuses. It's okay. It's not fucking okay. What's wrong with you? But apparently, we're not allowed to, to complain about the play of our team, apparently, these days. When the hell did this start to become a fad now, that we're not allowed to say anything? You know what? I will talk about you guys. Before I get started, I need to talk about the media, all right? I'm not even feeling good today, but it's going down, all right? It's this simple. I'm going to talk about the media first, and then later in the video, I'm going to show you what the media thinks of you football fans as well, okay? I'm going to show you that. But we need to talk about what happened on Friday and its hypocrisy, because Atlanta Braves fans threw all types of stuff on the field, beer, all types of bottles and stuff. When the Atlanta Braves were called, the guy from the Cardinals, he called for a fair, for the ball. He said he's like, I got it, and then he didn't have it. All right, and the player got out. Now, I'll put it like this. The umpires would have not reviewed that play if not for Atlanta fans throwing stuff on the field. That's when they decided to start review the play. Now, I will put it like this. Since then, the media keeps saying, can you blame Atlanta fans? You can't really blame them for feeling that way. I'll put it like this. If that happened in Philly, y'all be all over us right now. It's that simple. You would want us to, you would try to take our baseball team away from us if that happened with us. Typical Philly fans, that's what you'd say. All right? There's a lot of bias here. And what pisses me off is that that one Philly fan who jumped over the rail or whatever and got on the field and was running, who was tased, there was people saying the city needs to be nuked. Seriously, the city needs to be nuked. There's people who don't even watch baseball, but you want them to be dead too, huh? Stop this. But yet, it's okay for Atlanta fans. And I talked to you Atlanta fans on Friday. I tried to show y'all some love and try to show y'all some, some concern, because I was like, yo, that's really bad. What happened, because they really did get screwed. But whatever. Atlanta fans was like, it's all good, whatever. But the media has definitely shown how they can take one thing and say, oh, it's okay. Like I said, it's okay for everyone else except Philly for some reason. And it's the same thing when it goes with me, because apparently it's okay for everyone else to have an opinion or say something but me. I told you before, we're going to dead that shit at the door. I don't know who y'all think y'all are, thinking I can't say what I want. All right? It's that simple. And I'm sure I'll say that again too. But we need to get on the Eagles game. Let's start with the offense. First off, I want to say, as usual, wide receiver 10, I want a flag. Look, I put it like this. We need to start making a drinking game up. For every time he wants a flag or calls for a flag, we drink. And I put it like this. By the end of the first quarter, you'll be done. You'll be drunk. Because that's how many times he keeps complaining. Look, if you don't get the flag, guess what? You go back to the next play and make it the next one. Stop complaining and play football. That's all you got to do. I'm tired of it. I really am. The offense was stagnant. It was horrible. I don't know what Andy Reid is doing out there. Michael Vick, I put it like this. It's like hot potato. It's like hot potato. What doesn't make sense to me is when Michael Vick plays, he fumbled 4 times that game. 4. One was called back, and another one was recovered by our own offensive lineman. The other 2 were recovered by Pittsburgh. Okay? 4 times. All right? And 3 of those 4 times, when the third one happened, what did Andy Reid do afterwards? Oh, let's call a quarterback draw. Why would you do that? This guy is mentally done. He has shown it on the field, especially the second time. Oh, man, he's walking off the field, and the Fox commentator is saying, yo, he's done. He's mentally done. You can see it in his face, all right? Yet Andy Reid still put him in that situation. Horrible. Absolutely horrible. Once again, McCoy, the only thing going on in the offense, I do not understand this, especially, and I put it like this, why are you running to the left with McCoy? All the big runs have come from where? In the previous 2 games, where? To the right. Why are you running to the left? You are not fooling anyone. Of course, that's Vic's strong side. They know what's going to happen if you go to the left. Stop being stupid, offense. And there was plays that didn't even make sense on offense also. Because I put it like this. There's no way, and we're sitting there watching the game, right? Andy Reid has Deshaun Jackson, wide receiver 10, right? And Macklin on the sidelines. You know what that means? That means your 2 best receivers are not in this play. That means you're setting up an I formation. You have McCoy in the backfield. Are you going to tell me that I don't know it's a run coming? And you think if I can tell this, you don't think the Pittsburgh Steelers can see it? You got to be kidding me. And guess what they did? They ran it. And guess what? They got no gain from it. You want to know why? Because they didn't even try to disguise it. That's why. I am so sick of this passing ratio. You have to give McCoy at least 25 to 30 touches, all right? He's the only person doing something. You have to understand that. This offense looked bad. 3 and outs all day, right? And that's because of that, we had to rely on our defense, which was equally as bad. Now, I will put it like this. Our defense was so bad because this game, let's be honest here, this game was pretty much Eagles-Giants all over again. That's what this was, all right? Everyone say it's a great game. Overall, if you're not a fan, it's a great game. But if you're watching your team, you're seeing them get blown up like this, you're going to be pissed off. But apparently, we're not allowed to be pissed off anymore because there's also stupid-ass Eagles fans on Twitter, that's right, who think it's okay with the defense. They're pleased with our defense. Pleased with the defense, huh? Okay, well then let's talk about defense. In the first half, why does Juan Castillo have our secondary playing so far back? Why? I don't understand this. And what happens when you do that? The Pittsburgh Steelers are beating us on short routes and slants. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, he'll adjust in the second half. Well, guess what? He never did. Never did. Why is it that Nnamdi Asomugha, look, if I'm Juan Castillo, you put Nnamdi by himself, no matter the scheme, you put him on a specific player, on a primary target, right? This is what you do. You have him stalk him all game and play him up close and jam him. That's what you do, all right? That will stop everything. Nnamdi, you have to understand, and I it's not Nnamdi's fault because we all know if you keep playing him back, he's going to get burned. It's been doing that all season. All season, has it not? There's no excuses. So, as far as I'm concerned, you keep him up on the jam. If you keep him up and jam that player, you take that person away, there's no problems. That's what you do, Juan Castillo, but it seems like you don't want to do that. However, let's talk about the front line, all right? The front defensive line, look, guys, if you don't understand what's going on, we got no pressure all game. None. There was no pressure up the middle, no blitzes up the middle. Roethlisberger's just looking straight down, just down the field like, hey, everything's coming from the side. Trent Cole's being double teamed. Jason Babin only has one guy all game on him. Guess what? Jason Babin's getting owned on that side all day. And because he can't read anything other than let me try to tackle the quarterback, there are plenty of plays where, Roethlisberger would throw to the side, would kill Babin off it, and then he has to rely on Kendricks to make a play. And we all saw what happened the one time when Kendricks tried to make a play, but missed that tackle. So it goes to show you that Jason Babin is only good for one thing, tackling the quarterback. And as we've seen as of late, he can't even do that, especially when you're tackling low instead of high. Roethlisberger is a big guy, but I said this last week, you got to tackle him high, wrap and tackle. Don't let him keep his arms up. He will make plays and extend plays. I'm telling you, this defense looked absolutely horrible. Don't tell me that it's okay. And in the second half, they're running right up the middle. They were killing us up the gut with the run. And I don't understand this because even the one play, Babin had to chase the guy down from 20 yards. He tackles the guy and starts celebrating. What the hell are you celebrating for? You just had to catch him for 20 yards. What's going on here? All right, the Eagles, I told you, at this point, they are not the team that you think they are. And it's horrible to see that this is going on. This is something, I understand the Pittsburgh Steelers, or should I call you guys the Pittsburgh penalties, because in that first half, you guys got a ton of penalties. All right, I didn't understand what was going on. But in that first half, it was just crazy. This team is not built to play against a primary team. Look, I understand that we pride ourselves off defense here, us Philly fans, but understand our defense isn't like, say, the Ravens. And what I mean about that is that you can't rely on defense to win games or win Super Bowls for you. We are not built that way. We never have been. I don't understand this. Even the Ravens are starting to, I put it like this, their defense is great, but even they started to realize they needed some offense. You can't do that all the time. The defense got tired in the second half, especially, like I said, when you have all these 3-and-outs on the offense, they're constantly on the field. And we saw this in preseason because Pittsburgh Steelers, they killed us in preseason running the clock. Did they not? And yet the same thing happened over and over this game. You've got to be kidding me. But yet, apparently, that's okay too because we're pleased with the defense. Look, the Eagles defense got so damn desperate that Kurt Coleman took off a player's shoe and threw it down the damn field. And once again, defense didn't have any sacks for the second straight week. This is ridiculous, but apparently diehard Eagles fans feel that it's okay. It's an alright loss because we're not 0-5. We're only 3-2. It's obvious that fucking idiot doesn't get it. This team could easily be 0-5. It just so happens that yesterday's game, it caught up to us. That's what it is when it came to these 1-2 point wins. You have to understand easily we could be 0-5. I guarantee you if we were 0-5 right now, that douche will be jumping off the rafters somewhere as far as I'm concerned. This is a joke, man. What happened to Eagles fans? This is not the Eagles fans I knew growing up. People who didn't take this type of thing. Well, all of a sudden, it's okay to lose games like this. Are you serious? It'd be different if they played hard and everything, but they were getting destroyed all game. Defense was tight. Like I said, all game, offense and defense. All right? Don't look at the score because the score doesn't dictate. I pull like this. If you were even paying attention to the game, you would know the Pittsburgh Steelers had 4 different chances where they should have scored 6, but their receivers dropped the ball. 4. We were at the damn bar counting it. 4. Even Steelers fans was like, yo, we should have caught that. Yeah, you should have. And it would have been 6. This should have been a blowout game. It should have been if they would have just caught the ball. But they didn't. All right? We dodged a bullet quite a couple times during that game, but don't nobody want to hear that. No, they don't want to hear that. See, Eagles fans, understand, it amazes me. I don't know why it still amazes me, actually, why such stupidity is shown on Twitter. Get the fuck off Twitter if you don't know what you're talking about at this point. It makes no sense. And now, since all this is happening, guess what? We play Detroit next week. And you know what people are saying already? Eagles fans, diehard Eagles fans, now they're wishing that Detroit players hurt Michael Vick and take him out the game. The stupidity of fans, of this generation's fans, and football in general, is absolutely ridiculous. There is no reason why that is called for. And for those who don't know what happened with Matt Castle and KC, apparently he was hit and knocked out the game, and Chiefs fans started cheering. And you should know better to do that. You should know better. I mean, this guy is trying to play to win you a football game. And I understand you were the quarterback, James, but that's not the way you act. And apparently now, linemen are coming out and, pretty much voicing their concern about their own fan base.
A heartwarming story in Indy, a disturbing one in Kansas City. Matt Castle down on the field with a concussion in the 4th quarter, and the fans, Chiefs fans, begin to cheer. Eric Winston, both furious and eloquent, assessing their behavior.
I've already kind of come to the understanding I probably won't live as long because I played this game, and that's okay. That's the choice I've made. That's a choice all of us has made. But when you cheer somebody getting knocked out, I don't care who it is, and it just so happened to be Matt Castle, it's sickening. It's 100% sickening. And I've never, ever, and I've been in some rough times on some rough teams, I've never been more embarrassed in my life to play football than in that moment, right there. And I get emotional about it because these guys, they've worked their butts off. Matt Castle hasn't done anything to you people. Hasn't done anything to you people. Hasn't done anything to the media writers that kill him. Hasn't done anything wrong to the people that come out here and cheer him. Hey, if he's not the best quarterback, he's not the best quarterback, and that's okay. But he's a person. And he got knocked out in the game. And we got 70,000 people, people cheering that he got knocked out. Boo him all you want. Boo me all you want. Throw me under the bus. Tell me I'm doing a bad job. Say I got to protect him more. Do whatever you want. Say whatever you want. But if you're one of those people that were out there cheering, or even smiled when he got knocked out, I just want to let you know, and I want everybody to know, that I think it's sickening and disgusting. We are not gladiators, and this is not the Roman Colosseum. This is a game. And I'll sit here and I'll answer all your questions for the next 30 minutes if you want to ask them. And I'll take all the responsibility you want me to take because I deserve it. And if you want to blame me. But don't blame a guy and don't cheer for a guy that's done everything in his power to play as good as he can for the fans. It's sickening. And I was embarrassed. And I want every single one of you people to put that on your station, to put that in your newspapers, because I want every fan to know that. This is a game that's going to cost us a lot down the road. That's okay. We picked it. We deserve it. I don't want your pity. But we got a lot of problems as a society if people think that that's okay.
Now that was very well said. However, I do disagree with that lineman in one aspect. He says that they're not gladiators and this is not the Roman Colosseum. Look, let's get something straight here. The NFL has always called football players gladiators, gridiron gladiators. They've always, all right? So I don't know where he's getting that from. To say that you're not a gladiator or a warrior when the NFL has plenty of times plugged it themselves. Hell, there was even a part, was a segment Any Given Sunday in the movie talking about that as well, because that's what the NFL plugs it as, and the media, all right? But I'll put it like this. Going against what the NFL is saying, I mean, I understand that you're full of emotion, but you probably will see a fine coming from that. You probably will. No, we have to see exactly, what the NFL will do about that. So, but anyways, I want to keep talking about the fans because you have to understand that there's so many fans that are so, they're not educated at all, and they call themselves diehards, all right? Apparently, being a diehard fan means to start kissing ass and have no limits. That's what it means, kiss ass, and if anyone says anything different, you're a hater. It's a bunch of garbage, all right? You have to understand that if you're a real fan, you are going to dissect these games. You are going to have criticism against your teams. Why? Because you want to see them improve. You want to see them do better. That's the entire point. Don't you understand that? We all want to win. We all can't win. Of course we can. Only one team can win the Super Bowl, but you have to understand that that's the entire point of a fan base. If you're going to sit around and kiss ass all day, there's something fucking wrong with you. There just is. And we'll talk about this a little bit more because ESPN actually came out and called new generation football fans a bunch of damn idiots because of the fact that the way football is shown today and the way that it's all these highlights and things, you actually don't understand the process of football. Don't believe me? Let's hear what they got to say.
What goes on the field, but part of this game is so much of fans. We had the commissioner tell us over the last few weeks that this game is all about the fans. So from the time when you guys played, how much have things changed for the people in the seats, and how much more ugly have they become when they sit there, and more entitled have they felt?
Now, this is one of the reasons why many players get frustrated with fans.
Yep.
I think what I have seen since I've been out of the game, and it started late in my career, is I've seen a, lack of a better term, a dumber fan base football-wise. A highlight-educated fan base. They're inundated with jumping catches and spectacular throws and fantasy stats, and they think that every team should look like the greatest show on turf, or the New England Patriots, or the best of the best of the best. And that's their expectation, and they've lost touch with that. Certain teams aren't built that way. Certain teams are building. Certain teams are going through some real ebb and flows in their growth process, and their job as fans is to support that and to be part of that growth. And they lose sight of that, and too often knee-jerk react when a team is going through a difficult stage. That's my take, and I'm sure many disagree with me, but that's been my observation. I've sat in this desk moving from the game, is that in the 90s you had, and I had binoculars thrown at me, they ran me out of stadiums, well deserved. But it was globally a smarter fan base, understanding the process and understanding this game and understanding all that goes into it, and not looking at it simply as my fantasy team stunk today and I had Matt Castle, or whatever, how much they minimize the game, which I see happen often.
Cynical society, microcosm of it we see in the stands. I always try to ignore it.
It's hard.
I don't think that you can really get caught up so much in it, because you'll hear some things and fans will do some things that will always kind of, get down inside of you. But when you mention, social media, we started to keep score on everything. You critique everything. Is this guy playing hard enough? Do you think this guy is doing enough to get the team to win? Has he quit on the ball club? Then the fans, they incorporate that into their thinking. They take that to their seats. And then they live it out over these players. And I'll repeat what I said about a half hour ago. We're human beings. And we put on the helmet and the shoulder pads, and I think, fans sometimes tend to forget that.
What ESPN just said is absolutely correct, but here's the problem, because it's hypocrisy. Because ESPN, they're the media. They facilitate what the average football fan sees. They show the highlights. They show what you should think and how you should act. You have to understand it. So if you're going to blame the fans of this generation for not being smart enough to know X's and O's, you have to blame yourself as well, because you give them that influence. It goes to show you that they don't think before they speak. They just put themselves out there. That's why there's guys like me and others here on YouTube who try to talk to you fans on, on actual sports, on what you should be looking at. Instead, we get a bunch of crap from other people saying, oh, you're stupid because ESPN said. Come on, man. What's wrong with you? You can't think for yourself? You know what, though? We're just going to keep moving. We're going to keep moving. I want to switch gears. I want to talk about the NBA real quick, because I put it like this. We already know that there's only going to be like 6 or 7 teams that's only going to be able to compete this year in the NBA, all right? Everyone's stacking rosters and things. Yeah, there will be a dark horse, 1 or 2 places. Other than that, I don't think it really matters. You guys have sent me a lot of messages saying that, you're not even looking forward to the NBA due to the fact of this problem, of this process. David Stern isn't doing anything about it. And I need to talk about this real quick because for those who don't know, I talked about a little bit on, last week's video. The NBA has now made an anti-flopping rule. All right, I have to talk about this, guys. All right, anti-flopping rule, which does not do anything if you ask me. Apparently, it's going to be as a money thing. You flop in a game, the game afterwards, once they review it, you'll get fined like $5,000. You get a warning first, then $5,000 and $10,000, and it keeps going up. All right. Now here's the thing. Why would you wait until after the game is over? You need a rule that puts it in place right then and there. Are you going to tell me if somebody flops in a playoff game, in a pivotal playoff game, and that team advances, you're going to wait, all right, when the game is over and then fine them? That would be stupid. That would be absolutely stupid. I put it like this because we've seen this before, how organizations will back those players. For those who don't know what I'm talking about, if you remember Michael Jordan, all right? I'm sure you remember Michael Jordan, but you probably don't remember this story. Michael Jordan, at one point, the NBA would not allow black sneakers in the NBA. You had to wear all white sneakers. When Michael Jordan signed his deal with Nike, he wore black sneakers every night on the court. The NBA said, you want to wear black sneakers? We're going to fine you every night you wear black sneakers. Nike said, no problem. You selling our sneakers, we'll pay your fine for you. So you don't have to worry about it. You'll never see that money come out of your pocket. And guess what? The NBA lost that one, and as we see, everybody wears black sneaks now. So it goes to show you that even if this flop happens, if an organization feels it was worth it, they'll back them. They'll pay the fine for them. You have to understand that you need to do this. You need to start teching people right then and there. And if it keeps happening, you tech the coach because the coach can't get his players under control. And if that doesn't happen, then you really go after the organizations. You have to understand, if you really want to clean this up, then you should. This tells me that you really don't care. You're just trying to shut fans up. That's what it tells me, NBA. It's a horrible move that you did, but that's not all. No. For those who don't know, all right, the NBA players now have filed with the Players Association, with the union, a grievance. That's right. They feel it's wrong to be fined for flopping. It goes to tell me that you don't want to work hard. You want to flop and get by. Work hard to win. That's what you should be doing. You guys are supposed to be role models, aren't you? And, to the kids. And yet, this is what you're doing. This is horrible. This goes to show you the state of the NBA as it is right now. Like I said, all links will be in the info bar for you guys. Okay? It goes to show you this is a joke at this point. But the NBA has had somewhat, I'll put it like this, some stylish things as of late. There's only positive news I can really say about the NBA at this point. Because if you haven't seen the Blazers jerseys yet, they actually took slight upgrade to their jerseys for those in Portland who think about getting new jerseys this year. They look pretty sleek, you know what I mean? I don't know how many Trailblazers fans there are out there, but they look really nice. But that's not all. Now the Brooklyn Nets have also unveiled their jerseys as well. Let's see what they look like. Can you say San Antonio Spurs? I mean, seriously, you can tell me there's nothing else you could have come up with. Look, if I had to pick out of two jerseys, I would say the darker one is nicer. But come on, for this whole big movement with the Nets and trying to do all this stuff, that's the best you could do creative-wise? Are you serious? All right, but that's not all. I need to keep moving on about basketball. I gotta talk about this, all right? For those who don't know, Dwight Howard has come out because Shaq came out and said that today's centers, they don't play as hard. They're more of this overseas type, style of play, pick and roll. And Dwight Howard comes out. Apparently, he gets so mad and so sensitive what Shaq is saying, you need to move on. You're irrelevant now, carrying on because you're gone. And look, I've never seen a person that tall, that big, become such a bitch. Seriously, what is going on with Dwight Howard? If he's getting this upset over Shaq comments, God knows what's going to happen this year when the media starts eating him alive if the Lakers, start losing games. I have no idea what's going to happen. This guy, mentally, he's just not there. He's not. Get ready to go play. We've seen in the offseason, which if you ask me, was worse than LeBron James' move when he made a decision. At least LeBron made a decision. All right? Dwight Howard couldn't make a decision. Then he started blaming, teams left and right. They're trying to set me up and all this. Look, man, if you wanted to leave, you should have just made it happen. All right? Instead of just sitting there and beating around the bush, you got your coach fired and all this. Come on, man, stop this. You're garbage. You're not even that good. Like I said, without your size, you wouldn't be as good as you are because you don't even have that many moves. You went down there to get, help from Ewing. That didn't work. Yeah, help from Olajuwon. That really didn't help you. You went and got all these pros and legends. And come on, man, stop this. You want to become better, you got to keep playing and get experience. Your problem is you want to be a diva. Your problem is you want to be a star with doing, I should say, the bare minimum. That's what you want to do. That's what it seems like all NBA players these days want to do. It's ridiculous. You need to have some hardcore guys in there who love this sport, who will give a damn and play it the right way. And I'm going to talk about that right now. Y'all guys knew, what happened on Saturday. I mean, I told y'all Friday night that there was some tryouts here for the NBA, right? And I was going to go down there in the morning. Mind you, it was Friday night, late night, we was partying, and I had got that message then. You know what I mean? So, very short notice. Anyways, get down there, right, to the facility, which is actually where I go play basketball at. I'm a member there, right, at the Bellevue. And, yeah, it's very expensive to play there. But, so I get there, during tryout time, and it's like 30 guys in front of me, and then behind me afterwards, there's about 150 guys. Yeah, which makes no sense to me, because this, to me, was ridiculous, all right? We're in line. Now, I know there's going to be a registration fee. However, they didn't tell you online how much the registration fee was going to be. They didn't tell you, right? Just come register. So I took a couple dollars with me just in case. Get there, get in front of the line, right? My turn. And this guy tells me, oh, we just bumped up today the registration fee. Now the registration fee, if you want to, try out, is $225. So you just taking all of maybe 200 players, 175 players, taking everyone off guard. Everyone is pissed, all right? Everyone. And I'm thinking to myself, the first 30 guys that are in front of me, why didn't they say anything? Or why didn't they announce it to everyone? Then they announced it to everyone, which made no sense to me. It was weird. And here's their excuse. They said that, well, we had to raise the price today because of the massive turnout of people. Well, you're still using the same staff, so why should you get paid even more? It doesn't make any sense. It's not going to be that long. They said tryouts were from 9 to 4, which means it's not going to go over 4 o'clock. You already had this planned. What's the problem? No, you just want to raise the money so that you can have more money. That's all that is. And people weren't fooled in line. They started getting pissed off. They started asking questions. And then the guy was like, well, look, this is not a negotiation. He didn't say it to me. He was saying to everyone, this is not a negotiation. If you don't like it, leave. If you don't, wait a minute. What you mean if you don't like it, leave? You raising prices. You don't expect people to ask what's going on. You don't expect them to be concerned. And then, mind you, in the registration form, it says you can bring your families, you can bring whatever, whoever you want to watch you try out. Mind you, there was people, there were agents, there was people who came from overseas I was talking to. There's people just everywhere who came from different states. They had their families, and guess what? They told the families they had to leave, meaning they couldn't stay in the building. And they're like, well, where are we supposed to go? And they said, we don't care. It was ridiculous. There was so much pandemonium. All of us, a good amount of us, instead of say about 30 people probably stayed, say the first 30 people stayed. I guess they expected that. But they left. Everyone left. Everyone was like, this is bullshit. We're leaving. It was ridiculous. This one guy I was talking to was from Michigan. Now, let me tell you something, all right? This guy, he had to be about 6'1". He's about 225 pounds. Right? And not healthy 225 either. He was like, yeah, I went to the Chicago tryouts and I failed there. And he's like, and I'm here to try it again. I'm thinking to myself, why are you here? You're out of shape. You're 6'1" and you're out of shape. He admitted to me he don't have no vertical. I mean, I didn't want to judge him because I'll say it now. He was Caucasian. He was white. And he said, I don't have no vertical. Then why are you here? You gonna tell me you're gonna show up at 6'1", an out of shape 225, and you expect to run with these boys? That's gonna, that who are gonna play? Who's gonna stay? What's going on here? You know what I mean? Like, the tryouts were a joke, and like I said, everyone left. And I guess whoever stayed, I guess it was slim pickings. A lot of people left. And you know what? I don't appreciate you players, and I'll put it like this. I don't appreciate you players who showing up acting like you've been playing basketball for 5 days without a shower. All right? You don't get in line and smell like that. What the hell's wrong with you? All right, go do some hygiene, please, hygiene. I don't understand what's wrong with you guys, but you know what? I'm done for the day. I gotta go see a man about a horse. Anyways, we'll get back up on this in sports whenever. I have another video to do this week. I will talk to y'all later. Y'all be safe. I'm out.